Yeah, don't eat anything before you see this movie. Trust me, you'll thank me later. The Neon Demon. So The Neon Demon is the newest film from visionary director Nicolas Winding Refn, who most notably directed Bronson, Drive, and Only God Forgives. And in this movie, we follow Jessie, played by Elle Fanning, who's this young girl that just moved to LA who's trying to become a model. And when she gets there, she has all these agents and designers and photographers just aching to give her work. But all these other girls who have been there for a while or are still trying to make names for themselves aren't really too keen on this new girl coming in and taking all the work. Before I say anything else, I'm gonna say this movie is definitely not for everybody. I feel as though you really have to appreciate the physical art form of filmmaking to fully appreciate this movie, or at least enjoy Refn's work. So anyways, on with the review. Just like in Refn's last films, he's focusing more on visual storytelling and symbolism over a direct story and plot. Although the basic outline for the story of this film is easily identifiable, all of the layers beneath that surface level plot progression is not spoon-fed at all. You're really gonna have to sit there and think about the purpose and meaning behind some of these scenes and shot compositions and all these nuanced actions. One of my favorite films is Drive because of its amazing directing, incredible cinematography, and even better soundtrack. And all of those great aspects also go for Only God Forgives, except, well, I hated Only God Forgives because of the non-existent story and poor execution, but they were all still there. For the cinematography in Drive, Refn uses a lot of deep blues, blacks, and faint greens. And then in Only God Forgives, he uses a lot of deep blacks and deep reds. And for those of you who don't know, Only God Forgives and Drive were Refn's last two movies. And then in The Neon Demon, I felt as though it couldn't have been a coincidence that Refn contrasts deep blues and deep reds throughout the entire movie. The cinematography for this movie was incredible, with an extremely satisfying and effective color palette to match. Each shot of this movie looks like a painting that could be developed into its own fully fleshed out story, and it's incredible. But that's also what might turn a lot of people away from this. And my god, the score for this movie is incredible. It's so hypnotizing. Every sound and song that you hear ties in perfectly to whatever weird shit you're seeing on screen. Most of the performances in this movie are great, with Elle Fanning knocking it out of the park. She just delivered so much honesty and so many subtleties that resonated really well. Jenna Malone was also a standout in this movie, and not just because she did a great job, but because she's possibly involved in one of the most controversial and shocking scenes in recent memory. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, you can't be more committed than that. Keanu Reeves is also in this movie, and although he's severely underutilized, he absolutely kills it in one of the most intense and chilling scenes in the entire movie. And this is coming from somebody who is not the biggest fan of Keanu Reeves, but my god, with the little screen time that he had, boy did he bring it. The supporting cast started off to be a little rocky for me in the beginning of this movie because it's clear that they're trying to play up this snobby model stereotype, but as the movie goes on, it actually becomes really impactful. Although I was annoyed with the way that they were acting, I genuinely started feeling bad for them and their internal struggles. And seeing what all of these girls will go through just so they can have people accept them, and accept them not just for work, just so they can actually accept themselves, is heartbreaking. Now trust me, the girls in this movie do some f***ed up to get what they want. I mean, I can't remember the last time that my jaw actually fell open. Literally fell open without any effort. Just fell open. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say that this movie contains a lot of shock value for the sake of shock value, and although in some scenes that is what it is and that is what it feels like, the majority of the shock value scenes do have some type of deeper meaning in them. The main issue I had with this movie is that the story is really thin, and that the characters aren't fully established enough for you to actually care about them or see where they're coming from. Desires for certain characters in this movie are just too unclear, and I know the point is to be able to dive into this movie and really figure it out for yourself. If you're just watching this movie one time, that one time is going to determine whether you like the movie or not. So if you didn't like it, you're not going to go back to figure it out. There's also a lack of motivation for Elle Fanning's character later on in the movie. She essentially gets what she wants really early on, and after she gets what she wants, they just construct this really poorly designed romance. It did feel like the latter half of the film was comprised solely of shocking or uncomfortable scenes that were just manipulated by the amazing camera work and cinematography. But this movie's not for everyone, and honestly, I can't see casual moviegoers sitting through this entire movie. You're going to really have to want to see excellent directing and auteurism to fully understand and appreciate this movie. It's eerie and strange and taboo, but it's unique and powerful. And for all these reasons, I'm going to give The Neon Demon a 7 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. It truly does mean a lot. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see my upcoming movie reviews and you want to stay around, well, hey, hit subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.
you.